Welcome, ladies. This is going to be amazing. I'm just so excited to share this with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's jump right into it because I am ready to go. How are you feeling? You can pop it in the chat. I want there to be high energy in this so that it's going to be interactive. I want this to be truly an investment of time that you are just so thankful for. All right, so let's get started. Here we are. 2022 is right around the corner, ladies. I want to map out your $1 million year. And when I say $1 million a year, some of you might be saying, not quite there yet. And that's okay, because it's about mapping out your best year yet and doing it with simplicity. Okay, so I wanted to start right here about what do I mean by $1 million? Like some of you may be getting closer to the 6-figure mark, or that's like your goal, but 7 figures may feel like impossible. Well, today we're talking about building wealth. And these are the 4 main areas of wealth as I see it. And I have them in what I think is the right order, right? Time is our most valuable resource. And so when we can reclaim our time, that is time wealth. That is life wealth. You know what I mean? When you can do what you want to do with your time. Next in the way of wealth is relationships. I am blessed to work with so many women. And what I find is that your relationships tend to suffer because you're working harder than you need to. Okay. And I don't want that for you. Okay. What else? Health suffers when we're working too long. We're not eating right. We're not exercising. We're not sleeping well. I don't want that for you. I want health wealth for you. And in your finances, of course, we're talking about business. So of course, we're talking about unapologetically generating not only revenue, but profit as we impact people's lives. Okay, so today I'm going to show you the framework my clients use to strategically map out the quickest, most streamlined path toward exponential growth in their business. So I want you to pop open your chat. And Rebecca, thank you for being here, hon. I would love to see who's here. Okay. So are you professional services? Just type in professional services. If you're a lawyer, interior designer, or accountant, architect, something like that, please pop that in. Are you in real estate? And if you are you a broker? Are you an agent? Are you a property manager? Okay. Do you own a creative firm or agency? Maybe you have a VA firm, social media management, web design, digital marketing. Tell me what it is. Or are you an expert? You're a speaker. Maybe you're a coach or consultant, or maybe you have a brick and mortar. If that's you, what do you sell? Tell me. And if you're something else, tell me that. Okay. Please take a moment, whether you're live with me now or even in the replay. I'm going to be posting this on my YouTube channel. So if that's where you're watching, open up those comments because I want to see who's here. Okay. Rebecca, is anybody popping it in? What do we have here with us?
We have some real estate agent. I know we have a couple people involved in real estate. I know there's a consultant in here at least. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Very good. How about years in business? Ladies, no shame, no, judgment here. How many years have you been in business? Maybe you're just getting started, but you've got big dreams. That was me, back in 2003, and I've come a long way since then, but maybe, that's you right now. And that's great. How many years have you been in business?
Someone's been in business for 8 years. I know there's another one who's a little newer, but probably about two years or so. And then we'd love to hear how long else you guys have been in there.
Yeah, come on. Don't be shy. All right. Awesome. I love seeing your beautiful faces too. All right, next question. What's your number one business challenge right now? What has you thinking, if I could only figure that out, then I'd be going places? Is it marketing and lead gen and getting that pipeline full? Or maybe it's the sales part. Like, I'm really great at what I do, but how the heck do I tell people about it, right? Or maybe it's team building or operations, or maybe it's your mindset. Whatever you think it is, please pop that in the chat because that's going to help to guide me as I customize this for the people who I'm blessed to be with here live. So what do you think it is? What's your biggest business challenge? And if you're like, I don't know, maybe all of it, type that in too.
Oh, and Angela just mentioned she's a musician, choreographer, artist, and coach in the arts, which is awesome. I know mindset. Yeah, it's a lot. Mindset's a huge one.
And who was that? Was that Angela?
It's Angela. Yeah.
Angela, do you know that I went to college for music education? I'm a pianist and I play the French horn too. Although you wouldn't want to hear me play the French horn. So I really have an affection for the arts. That's just incredible. All right. Well, Rebecca, thank you for helping me with that chat portion of our presentation for today. I want to just very briefly introduce you to a couple of the ladies that I've helped. Here's Lori. She's a real estate broker. She went from wanting to quit to being more excited about her business than ever before and her life. She actually said to me, Judy, you changed my life. And when I said, come on, Lori, she goes, no, what you did is you helped me to understand that I didn't have to be like everybody else, that my brand could be just me and that would be just fine. And so she went all in and doing business her way, being who she wanted to be, being who she is, and putting that out there. And what happened? She 2.5x'd her revenue the next year. She was just about 6 figures. She went to about 250 the following year and then doubled it the next year. And she lives in Washington State. She loves to spend time on the water. And as I see her on social, she's doing that more and more as her team is generating more dollars. Next, we have Jackie. She's a serial entrepreneur. She's amazing. She's a mom to 2 young kids, former corporate superstar. She left corporate and she had big dreams. Oh my goodness, such big, amazing dreams. And they're all coming true. In just 6 months of working together, she built 3 unique brands, one in the skincare product line that she has, another in consulting. Because of her experience, she's able to help other business owners in the brand building space and in real estate. Okay. She wanted to surpass her corporate salary. She's well on her way. So listen, you'll want to stay to the end because this is not your typical masterclass. You want to grab a notebook. You will learn something. Okay. I venture to say you're going to have a breakthrough. Okay. That's my goal. And I want you to have that as an expectation. And at the end, I want to know if that was met. Okay. At the end, you're going to have an opportunity to ask me questions and have live coaching. Hey, what is your biggest struggle as we're talking about the things we're going to be going through today? I'm also going to give you a link to my ultimate scaling guide, which is a 20-page resource on things to really go deep in when you're talking about scaling and taking it to that next level. And at the end also, if you'd like, if you've loved what you're going to experience here today, and you want to talk more about the possibilities of working together, I'm going to invite you to book a strategy session with me. And of course, that is strictly complimentary, absolutely free, no obligation, but it's going to be a great time spender. I look forward to the opportunity to spend some time with you strategizing about your business. So my goal for you today is I want to show you a faster, easier way to grow your business, right? How to strategically plan and map out your success in the coming year. Like, what do you want out of your business? And that's where we're going to start in just a moment. But I want you to understand that wherever you are, the success in your business or your life is 100% your responsibility. Okay. It is 100% your responsibility. And for me, it's all about simplicity. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Life can be complicated. There's no need to take it that way. Let's make it simple. Okay. So here specifically is what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the most important questions that you need to ask. That's going to determine the quality, not only of your business, but of your life. I'm going to share with you the simple formula to create a sophisticated business that you can scale with 6-figure leaps in revenue. Okay, I'm going to give you the math behind reaching 7 figures. So you can choose which way you want to take to get there, which revenue model. And then I want to introduce you to my joyful scaling method to take your business to that next level, of course, with simplicity. Okay, so briefly, who am I? I am a women's business strategist. I'm a scaling expert. 2 major things about me. Number 1, I'm a lover of the Lord Jesus Christ. He is everything to me. He's changed my life and just in so many ways, I can't even begin to tell you here in the confines of this masterclass. And secondly, I'm a women's advocate, and I'm known for showing female founders and small business owners like you how to build a sophisticated business, how to leverage your expertise to attract high-paying clients and accelerate your revenue, all without compromising what you believe in, right? Your faith or your values. So I just want to briefly kind of give you some cred so you know why you should listen to me. And like you, I just want to say, this is a slide that like you may want to just pass over and say, oh, I don't want to be braggy. But guess what? If I were in your shoes, I'd be like, prove to me that you're worthy of listening to. Like, what do you know, right? What have you done? So I'm an award-winning business coach. I'm also a trial attorney since 1995. I've been a corporate in-house attorney for a multi-million-dollar international firm. So I've been a C-suite executive. I've been in the room as an HR director and as general counsel. I've been a successful serial entrepreneur since 2003. I've been published in major publications, some of which are there. I also am a licensed real estate agent since 2008. I am a sought after speaker. And as I said, I'm a Jesus lover and a women's advocate. And you know what's funny? Like when I look at that picture, that captures me. So, when you're thinking about your brand and this idea of authenticity, that's me. The beach is my happy place. I want to do everything with joy. I am very smart by God's grace. I'm very strategic, but I love having fun. So I want you, as you think about, golly, you might look and say, I want this kind of business. Go deep with the Lord on who you are and who he made you to be, and bring it out and go all in. Okay. So here's the big question everybody asks. Why do some struggle to get to 6 figures a year while others make as much as 6 figures a month? Okay. And if that's you, listen, you've been sold on a bill of goods. Those gurus out there a lot of times aren't doing you any favors. Okay. You've been sold on the idea that you got to work hard, AKA the hustle. It's all about the hustle. No, it doesn't have to be. Okay. You've been told that you need to do all the things when it comes to marketing your business. Oh, you got to be on this platform, that platform. You got to worry about this algorithm, and it makes you crazy. Okay. It's a bill of goods. You've also been told that you need to have a suite of offers. No, you can't just go all in one, because you want to be more attractive to the masses. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay. You've been told you've got to be available to your clients at all times. And I work with a bunch of real estate agents and brokers, and that's what they tell me. Judy, I love you, but when you tell me I can only check my emails 2 or 3 times a day, you're nuts. And I say, no, I want to show you a better way. Okay. You've also been sold on elevating tech. Hey, we got to please those algorithms. And we've forgotten about what business is built on: human connection. Okay. And you've also been sold as a Christian, as I had been, on this idea of a false humility, like being humble really means playing small. Like I got to be in the background. No. You are born with a spirit of power, not of fear or timidity. So this is all, if this is anything you believe, get ready, because you're about to be enlightened. Okay. Because none of that's getting the results you want. Am I right? So my formula for success is, look, I've helped my clients go from struggling or stuck to quickly monetizing their genius. Okay. What is your genius zone? Once you know what it is, let's monetize it and transform your business into one that is impactful, profitable, and fun to run. My strategies are tested and work across all industries. And one of these beautiful ladies is here, at least one, and it works. And I love working with women across all industries, because business is business. And we get to hear from others in other industries about what they're doing and what's working. And sometimes it's things that nobody's even tapped into in your particular market. So let's normalize success. About 10% of women will reach 6 figures in their business. So if that's you, brava. Okay, pat yourself on the back. But according to Forbes, that number gets a heck of a lot smaller, and only 2% will ever cross the 7-figure mark. So you may be asking, okay, this is all great, but Judy, how do you create a sophisticated business that I can scale to have those 6-figure leaps you're talking about, and do it with simplicity? It sounds like an impossibility, right? Well, I want to land for a moment on this word sophisticated. The original definition, because I look into words, the original definition was simplicity. If something was sophisticated, it was simple in its form. And I love that. Now, sophisticated is more like a measure of refinement. You're displaying wisdom and good taste, which I love that too. I want all that in my business. How about you? Right? So here is my success formula. You got to believe that it's possible, and then take strategic action. So the formula itself is faith plus strategy, the right strategy, okay, plus action, the right action is going to get you the results. That's the success formula. So in other words, when you break it down into its simplest form, it's all about a strategic plan. That plan is a plan of action, and it is faithfully and consistently executed. So there are three parts. The first one is, what do you want? And here's where I want you to make sure you're taking notes. Here are 6 main parts of life. These are the 6 major components of your life. And think about it. You have your relationships, you have your spiritual life with the Lord, you've got your business, you've got your health, finances, and then what you do for fun. So after this class, maybe in the next couple of days, certainly over the weekend, I want you to grab a piece of paper, and on the top of each one, I want you to write these words. So have one side of a paper for each of these, okay? Then I want you to grade yourself on the quality of this aspect of your life from 1 to 10, and be honest. I mean, God knows. You may fool other people who look at the paper, but you're not going to fool God, right? So then use the rest of the paper to think and pray about what has to change in my life to get me closer to the 10. Because here's what I found. A lot of us women, we are so busy doing and serving others and just moving forward with our life that we rarely, if ever, sit and ponder, what do I want out of my life? Right? Do I want a 7-figure business? You don't have to. You can still have success at 6 figures, right? You could have success working part-time, making, 40,000, 50,000. But have you ever done that exercise of what do I want? If you don't know what you want, then how can you set goals? And how can you ever get there? You're chasing like a nebulous something that doesn't exist, right? So everything I do also points back to this. It's all about fitting your business into your life, not the other way around, okay? If you're trying to fit your life into your business and you're exhausted right now, no wonder why, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is time mastery, because you'll recall that wealth regarding time was at the top of the list. It is so important to make sure that you, again, look at your calendar very intentionally, and I might suggest selfishly, because it is your life. And as I said earlier, you're 100% responsible for it. So I'm going to, in the next slide, give you a link where you can grab this, calendar. And I want you to map out blocks of time of what your ideal week would look like, right? What is the time for client work? What is the time for marketing? And then not just a big block of marketing, but think about what do I love to do in the way of reaching out and connecting with my target audience? And when do I want time off? I'll tell you, this is my calendar. And these blues, this is time away. This is fun time. This is beach time. This is family time. And so I just gave this as an example that time blocking, where you are plugging in specific things to do, specific activities in a specific time frame. And then the all important honoring the time block is how you master your time. So I have a time blocking training I would love you to get access to. Please snap a picture of this slide if you would like access to that. It's absolutely free. And also the link to grab that ideal week calendar so you can print out and map out what do I want my week to be. Now, excuse me, before I move on, I want to briefly say, when you do this exercise of your ideal week, I don't want anything to creep in. I don't want any negativity to creep in. I don't want the enemy's lies to creep in. Anytime the enemy talks to you, it's a lie. Okay. So when he says you can't, no, we're going for impossible. And I'll get to that in a moment. Okay. We are going all in on who we are in Christ, on what he has for us, and on dreaming. How can I fulfill my life's purpose and best serve others with my God-given gifts in the time that I'm given? That's what this is all about. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the numbers. Here we go. The math behind 7 figures. Now, this is just an example of a lot of consultants that I work with and coaches, things like that. If you're an attorney, obviously your structure and your variety here is going to look differently. I know when I was a defense med mal attorney, an average litigation taken from beginning to end of trial and perhaps appeal would be anywhere from $65,000 to $100,000 for that engagement. So, just look at this as an example of the math behind getting to 7 figures. On the low end, I know that some of you are thinking, because the gurus tell you, hey, you can get to 7 figures with a $500 course. Yes, it's possible. But let's take a peek at the reality behind that. At $500 a year, you can get to $1 million with 2,000 clients, which may or may not freak you out. Okay, so you only need 167 new clients a month to get into your course or your $500, whatever it is, right? But look at the number of leads, because at that level, the average conversion rate is 2%. How do you feel about generating 100,000 leads a year? That number would freak me out. That's not where I want to go. That is not simple to me. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a moment. Go a little bit higher. Maybe you're offering something at $2,500 a year. Okay, now I need 400 clients a month, or 400 clients a year, or just about 1 client a day. 10,000 leads still sounds crazy for the year, about 1,000 leads a month, which is certainly much more doable. Okay, but what if we go to the true higher ticket threshold of $10,000 for the year? And let's face it, if you're an expert, you're worth it, whether you know it now or not. Okay, so at $10,000 a year, you only need 100 clients, which is 8 a month, which is about 2 a week. Now, typically at this price point, there's an application process, and only about half of those will pass muster. So that's how I came up with the math here, that you would need about 668 applicants, which is way better than 10,000, right? And the conversion tends to be a little bit higher here, because your marketing tends to be more refined and get more of the right people. Okay. Now, if you go higher ticket, still at 25,000 a year, you only need 40 clients, which is 3 or 4 a month, and you need 267 people to apply to hit that number. So what do you think about this? Is this encouraging or what? I'd love to hear some comments. Now, I want to show you, we're talking about revenue in the last slide. Here, we're getting to what really matters, in my opinion, which is profit. Okay, so when we're talking about someone who followed the guru's advice, and you have a plethora of different offers at different price points, right? You have this offer suite, and maybe you have a 5,000, 12, 25, and 45, and maybe you have something lower, but I just pulled this as an example. Okay. So when you have all these different offers and you have all these different funnels going on, and you're having to show up everywhere, right? You have a larger team, and all that costs moolah goolah. Now, it may be worth it, but this is a real life example that I'm giving you here. Okay. So in this example, a $5,000 offer, they had 30 clients. They brought in 150,000. Great. $12,000 offer, got 10, and so on. So their revenue was 840 grand. Amazing. That's beautiful. But that's not the end of the analysis, because we got to look at what it costs to get that. With the expenses in this situation, when we looked at advertising and team and software and launch, the funnels, and of course, taxes, 588,000 going out the door. So after all that work and the big team, this owner had a profit of 252,000, which is nothing to sneeze at. Okay. But the profit was 30%. There are some of you out there that want that. You want to have a big team, and you want to offer to different people. And if that's you, I don't mean to like diss you or call you out, but for me, it's not ideal. At days shy of 56, I wanted a heck of a lot simpler, and I would want more than a 30% profit margin. So here's a simpler model. 2 offers, a basic and an up level. Okay. Where the signature offer is 25,000, I need 25 clients. And again, because I'm going up, that was about 840. So I wanted to come up to the same, about the same. So 25 clients will get you 625 at the 25,000. Just a handful of clients for 45 gets you 225. So the revenue in this simpler model is about the same, a little bit more, 850. The expenses are considerably less. Why? It's a lean team. So you're left with a 40% profit, but that number turns out to be 510 grand for less complication, less people to manage, less complication all around. It's just a simpler thing. So here are more real life scenarios. Everybody says, I want to hit 7 figures, and that is something. But I want to show you, you don't have to hit 7 figures to make what a 7-figure earner makes. Okay, are you following me? Because it's revenue versus profit. So company A, in this example, they generated 1.1 million bucks. Their expenses were 80%. This is a real life example. She made 220. Again, nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of money going out the door. Okay. As opposed to $350,000 with a 60% expense rate of 140 and generating, a net profit of about the same. So when you look at that, I generated 1.1 million. It's like, I'll never get there. How about this? 350 and you can net the same. That's exciting. That's opportunity, ladies. So which do you prefer? Which is simpler? And here's the deal. You get to decide. One of the big mantras I always talk about with my clients, and many are watching here with me now, it's about you get to decide unapologetically. You don't have to answer to anybody else. Nobody else has to know what you're doing, and you don't have to impress anybody else. It's between you and the Lord. Lord, how do you see me fitting in my life, my kids, my family, my friends, my exercise, my fun in this thing called business, so that my life overall is abundant, as you call us to in John 10:10. So for me, it's the power of one. We're going to focus. I find, you know what's so funny? I have never met a woman who didn't tell me, Judy, I feel like I have ADHD. Is that you? I've never met one yet. I feel like that too sometimes. We're gifted to be able to multitask, but to be most effective, let's focus on the one thing. Let's focus on the time block. Let's get the time block set and then follow it. Let's focus. Let's have our blinders on. That is how we have an amazing business and life. So we're talking about, what do you want? So as we're looking back so that we can plan forward, I want you to look at the offers that you have in this year, 2021. What's your number one bestseller if you have more than one? Okay. And then you have to ask yourself these all important questions. Did I enjoy delivering it? Right? Secondly, was it profitable? And by the way, do you have these numbers handy for you to look at? It's important. So if it's a great seller, if it's profitable, and if you love it, great. But if it's not, do you want to keep it? And then, of course, reviewing expenses. Subscriptions. Oh my goodness. So many women, we sign up for these things. It's only $25 a month, $40 a month, whatever, $80 a month. But now's the time. Look at your statements, ladies, your credit card statements. Is there something you're not even using? Get rid of it. Put that money somewhere else, maybe in your bank account, or maybe invest it somewhere that makes more sense. Is there software that you've purchased that you're really not even using, right? How about vendors? This is a big one, ladies. As a lawyer and a person who loves contracts and a person who has high standards as far as customer service, now's the time to look at your vendors, who you're paying, by the way. From where I come from, I pay them, they work for me. And you can see I'm hot and passionate about this. So think about the vendors that you're using. Your website designer, your social media person, if you have one, anybody on your team, but really in the way of vendors, like your email provider. If you're an interior design, how about those independent contractors that can make you look great or make you look horrible? Now's the time to assess those vendors. Do they perform at your level? And what are you going to do about it? Give them the ultimatum. I'm paying you. I love you. I need you to do better. And I need to see a change now. Or maybe for some, you'll say, thank you, but no more, right? So look at those expenses. So here are the top 4 money wasters. which of these are you, I was going to say guilty of, and again, no guilt or shame, but now's the time we're being honest, right? So are you falling trapped to any of these money wasters? Poor tracking of expenses. How often are you checking your bank account to make sure there's no fraud even? You need to look at least weekly, okay? Another money waster, outsourcing too many tasks. I mean, there is a way to build team in a way that makes sense and outsource things, of course, that aren't in your zone of genius or aren't the best use of your time, right? And I did last week, I did my Joyful Scaling Intensive. Specifically, I did a whole day's training on team building. And if you want that, DM me for that, all right? Or pop it in the chat with your email address and I'll send you the link. But sometimes we can outsource to too many different people and we're not getting our money's worth. So I really want you to assess again those expenses and be careful not to outsource too many things in an inefficient way. Okay, third, you hire more people than you need, or you don't manage the people that you have. Okay, is that you? And finally, poor decision making, like ROI. If you invest in something, do you do that exercise of figuring out what was my return on investment? Was that a good investment? Okay. So if you have like, Judy, what's ROI? I don't know the equation for that. I don't know how to do that. Again, pop your email and name in the chat and I will send you that. Okay. So with that, that was all an introduction in what do I want? So I want to ask you, do you feel empowered? Do you think that right now you can confidently and without apology identify and map out what you want? I really want to hear from you on that one. Did this bring to light areas that are new, that areas that you really haven't explored or even thought about before, whether it has to do with your life or your business? Because it all impacts your success, right? Because even though our business is separate from us, it's a huge part of our life. We call it our baby, but there comes a time when you need to put things in the right order. And, believe me, going through and thinking through all of these issues that I've just addressed are huge to give you that confidence and allow you to be that best decision maker you can be so that you can step into your CEO role. So I want to briefly take a step back and tell you about my story. Okay. I'm a small town girl. I'm a twin, 6 of us kids in the family from very humble means. I tried to find a picture of my home and I couldn't find it on the internet, but I will try to bring that because I think it's important that y'all understand. I've always had big dreams. That was me when I was like 3, I think. My mom cut my hair. Can you tell? I look kind of like a boy. My hair is kind of not straight. I didn't care. I loved my life. I'm going to get weepy. It was a lot of fun in my life. I didn't know I was poor till I went to college. And I didn't care because some of the people that had a lot of money, and this one woman, I remember she had this ginormous engagement ring on her finger and she just seemed miserable, complaining all the time. But I always had big dreams. I wanted to be a teacher or a lawyer. I went to college. I was the first one to go to college. I went for music education because I really wanted to be a lawyer. I just imagined, like, I see these movies of these people dressed to the nines, these ladies dressed to the nines in their heels and being like real powerful in Manhattan, even though I was a small town girl and I was kind of scared of the city, but I just loved watching those movies. And they had these corner offices with all the glass and looking at the Empire State Building. And I thought, oh, that would be so amazing. But I thought, not for me, couldn't do that. So went to college, and I'll never forget, as I was a senior, I went to this thing for those that want to go to law school, come. And I went and sat there, and the whole time I was sitting in the back like, gosh, if only I could, but I can't. Anyway, a lot happened, but fast forward 5 years after graduation, God allowed me to be in a place. I sold dictation equipment to lawyers and I went to law school. And I finally decided to pursue that impossibility. And I succeeded. I graduated in the top 10, magna cum laude, and I made the law review, got a great job in a prestigious law firm. And then life happened, had kids, left the private practice of law, launched my first business as an interior decorator, no training, just loved HGTV and felt like I had that knack. Within the first month, I had more clients than I knew what to do with because I had 3 boys, 2, 4, and 7 at the time. My little 2-year-old was my little design assistant, went with me everywhere. Was really great. Loved it. But then life happens, divorce. So I re-entered the private practice of law. Before I did that, I had got my real estate license. So I always worked part-time as a real estate agent, but was still award-winning. Don't mean to brag, but that's the fact. I mean, that's, like you, we can do a lot. We're ambitious. We pursue things, right? In a few years after I re-entered the practice of law, I got the opportunity to go in-house as general counsel and be the HR director. Never done HR before. Slid right in because the law helped me. And I was sitting in the boardroom. There was another woman at the table. All the rest were men. There was a lot of baloney going on. But I was there. 2017, I started business coaching for women in real estate with my twin sister. That did not work out. At that time, both she and I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I think it was $127,000 in our first year of business through masterminds and coaching. And guess what? By 2018, I was featured on the cover of Top 100 People in Real Estate. We had a social media following of over 40,000. And then the following year, I was named an industry newsmaker by RIS Media. So here's the cover of Top 100. There's part of the article. And, I experienced tough times personally and professionally. My first husband beat me up. Okay. And I'm being very vulnerable when I tell you, in that instance, I was drinking too much, yes, to black out, but God. And that's another story that I will have to, save for another time. But all of my life, when I look back, I always pursued the impossible because I believed in the Lord Jesus Christ. And my mom always told me, Judy, where much is given, much is expected. You are a leader. And she just told me that. And I finally believed it, right? So I became this successful trial lawyer, something I never thought I could do. I became a thriving serial entrepreneur generating millions over the years, right? I became recognized nationally as a leader. I mean, look at the cover, right? I appeared on ABC TV. I've been featured in major news publications. I've guested on dozens and dozens of top-ranked podcasts, and I've been invited to speak on countless stages. That's crazy. That little girl could never have imagined that this was possible. A lot of hard work, but it's grounded in faith and goes back to my success formula. So again, Judy, how do I do it? Pursue the impossible. There it is. Faith, believe, strategy, be intentional about what you're doing. Don't waste time, right? Be strategic, take good action, and you'll get the results. Because with man, me alone, that's nothing. But with Christ, nothing's impossible. Okay. Part 2, how are you going to get there? Let's go. All right. First, a marketing assessment. As we are looking forward to 2022, I want you to look back and review this year's plan and activities when it comes to marketing. First of all, did you have a plan? And if you did, was that plan followed? And then you say, whether there was a plan or not a plan, hey, let's be honest, what worked and what didn't work? Did you ever track your time and what you're doing? That would be a very good thing to do from now to the end of the year and forward. Did the time you invested in social pay off? Are you doing what are you doing on social? Assess specifically what you're doing. Whoops, let's see. Sorry about that. Let's get back to things here. Da-da-da-da. Okay, hopefully they won't call. Love those telemarketers. So look at the time you spent and what were you doing, for example, on social, or whatever you did when you were podcasting or when you were going out and meeting people or having coffee chats or whatever. Did it work or did it not work? Okay. And then analyze the dollars and the time spent and that return on investment. That is such an important exercise. Okay. So that's the assessment. But then I also want you to look at your strengths. Do you love to talk one-on-one or do you prefer to be on stage? I mean, I know people who would rather be on stage than have one-on-one. I mean, I love one-on-one, but to me, it's more comfortable to be on stage, not because, oh, Judy's great. I just feel like sometimes one-on-one, I get nervous with people, which may sound funny because I am an extrovert, but I love being on stage. I don't care if there's a million people in the audience. I'm pretending I'm talking to one. So, or maybe you love video, or maybe you love writing. What are your strengths? And then, think about, is that where I should be devoting my marketing time? Should that be my one primary marketing strategy, right? Your strengths and those preferences combined. And then the all-important ideal client. What do they need? Where do they need you to show up? How do they need you to show up? Like, what do they prefer? Because it's important what we prefer, but at the end of the day, if we prefer blogging, but our target audience, the ones we really want to work with, don't even go near a blog and they listen to podcasts, well, there's going to be a major miss there, right? Got to be honest in our assessment. Here's the fact: the more intimately you know your ideal client and connect with her, the more successful your marketing is going to be. Okay, it's all about connection and knowing who your ideal client is, and it's not everybody. And that's like a whole other discussion. Okay, so that's your marketing assessment. Now, in the way of your sales assessment, I want you to, again, look back at this past year and look at those sales activities you did and look at the process. Do you have a process? If you do, does it need to be refined? And again, were those sales activities productive? Sales activities, meaning those presentations or those meetings that you had, whatever form that looks like, right? And how about your conversion rates? These are my leads and I was able to convert this percentage. How can we improve that? And again, look at the bottom line dollars and the time spent and the ROI. And then honestly, assess your sales skills on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you rate yourself? And identify, where do I miss the mark? Do I not know what my presentation should be? Do I get hesitant when I talk about price? Whatever it is, right? And does it make sense to add sales team members? Maybe, maybe not. But here are 3 daily non-negotiables: outreaches, connect chats, and consultations. Okay, outreaches. Social's not about the posting, ladies. That's the truth. It's about connecting with people. So you're outreaching, whether you're commenting thoughtfully on their posts, right? Or whether you're, taking it to DM and it's not just about me, and buy this or buy that, but it's about, tell me about you, and really caring about the answer. Or texting them, or reaching out by email, whatever the outreach is. Maybe it's live networking these days. Praise Jesus, we can get back out, right? But outreaches should be a daily thing in your life. Connect chats, whether it's connecting with potential target audience members like your ideal client, or collaborative partners, those that maybe share your same ideal client. I love collab chats, love it. And it's important. And then finally, consultations or meetings, presentations, whatever that looks like for you. We've got to constantly be in front of and talk with, i.e. connect with the people that we want to do business with, or the people that we want to be associated with in a win-win situation, whether it's a client, another business owner, and so on. Okay, so part 3, here we are. We're getting near the end though. Hopefully you're learning something and this is beneficial for you. I want to introduce you to the joyful scaling method for exponential revenue growth, greater profit, both of them you need, right? And more freedom. And I do it with strategy, systems, and simplicity. Ta-da! What are we going back to? My success formula. Ladies, the key to a 7-figure business or even a 6-figure business, okay? It's not more, it's less. Less complexity, less stress, definitely less hustle, okay? Faith plus strategy plus actions is results. I want you to plaster that everywhere because it's the truth. Okay, so the joyful scaling method, okay? It's joy, J-O-Y, okay? So the first step is the jumpstart. And this step is all about imparting fresh, targeted strategy. And we analyze 2 primary areas of your business, which we kind of just went through: marketing and sales. And we go deep in that assessment. So in the way of marketing, we're looking at your branding and your brand. What does it stand for? Your authority, your positioning, your credibility, and of course, your lead gen activities. In the way of sales, we're looking not only at your numbers, but also client results, your pricing, your deliverability of your services, and your sales process. Because having these all important strategies, not willy-nilly, try this, try that, but having these strategies down in writing and in practice is going to set the stage to maybe get you among that coveted 2% of seven-figure female CEOs. Now, the O is for optimize. And here we focus on three key areas. First, getting the right team members in place. Second, creating workflows and processes like the SOPs, the KPIs, and those other fun acronyms, okay? And finally, automating your business. So it runs like clockwork, and it allows you to leverage everything that you and your team are doing. Leverage is not a bad word, ladies. It's just optimizing what you're doing. Okay, no time wasted. And finally, the Y is yield. And here it's all about your results from a 30,000-foot view to see what is my business yielding in the way of dollars, in the way of number of clients, right? New, repeat, referrals, all that. What's the quality of my clients, right? What's the cash flow? What's the profit and loss? That kind of thing. All of it so that we can find the gaps and the opportunities so we can accelerate that revenue growth and again, significantly impact your profitability. So here together, we would strategically identify how can I acquire new clients for less, how to upsell and keep a client for years, and how to lower expenses so that the business is more profitable and you earn more, right? And all this leads to simplicity and focus and excitement and demand for your services. Like you become the go-to when you stand for something. You become the go-to when you're in the right place for your target audience. They see you, they fall in love with you, and they want to rally behind your mission, right? It also leads to better clients, again, who seek you out. It's higher level work. Okay. You are not the lowest common denominator. It's not about mediocrity. It's about excellence, right? So in return, you have that greater profit and more time freedom. So put simply, we put these strategic foundations in place for a scalable, highly impactful, profitable, and sophisticated business. We want to make that big impact, right? So meet Megan. She's a consultant. She's a mom of 3 boys. She's serious about pursuing her passion to share her parenting expertise. So we refined her brand. We prioritized how she was actually going to gain visibility. And within a few short months of working together, she garnered coveted media spots in TV, in print, and on a bunch of podcasts. Here's Heidi. She is a nonprofit expert. For nearly 2 decades, she was in that nonprofit sector. She was in various seats, the last of which was as an executive director, and her expertise was generating dollars, fundraising for nonprofits. So earlier this year, she launched her consulting business, and she came to me a couple of months after that. And she just like, I'm really great at getting money when I'm working in the capacity of a, generating profits for the nonprofit, generating dollars, right? Fundraising, but somehow there's a disconnect when it comes to selling in my business. So she and I had a one-on-one that was powerful. And within 5 days of that, she overcame some major mindset blocks in the way of selling. And we refined her offer, okay? And she signed a high-paying client within days, and her sales conversion rates continuously improve. So are you excited at the possibilities for your business? I mean, I hope that this has been enlightening and exciting, and don't leave yet, okay? Because I got some links for you that you're going to want, okay? But how many of you would love to simplify your business while making more meaningful impact for the people that God wants you to impact, right? He wants you to serve, and while generating that higher profit and getting more time in your day? Well, I am now accepting applications to Joyful Scaling. It's the ultimate mastermind experience for faith-fueled female founders and CEOs. That's a mouthful, but you get what I'm saying. This is an experience, okay? This is not a program. This is not a course. This is not group coaching. It is something far different. So here's what's inside. It's an exclusive year-long mastermind and mentorship. It's going to be a small group, no more than 12. Why? Because I'm going to be intimately involved in the creation and the refinement of your business into exactly what you want. You'll have access to a vault of strategic, high-level business trainings. You'll have the basics if you need them, okay? You'll also have access to my basic stuff, okay, the foundational stuff. But we're going high level because that's who you are and that's what you want, right? You're going to have ongoing personal private access to me every week. I'm going to be bringing in industry experts and having trainings by them in key areas. And the exact subject matter of that's going to depend on who's in the room. Okay. You're also going to get free tickets to two, not one, but two in-person intensives, one in the spring, one in the fall. And one of them is at a beautiful beach location, my favorite place on the earth, Rosemary Beach, Florida. Look it up, ladies. It's in the Panhandle. The sand is pearly white and the water looks like the Caribbean. That's where we're going to be in the spring. Okay. You're going to get customized accountability, private community on Facebook and otherwise, so you can get support that you need, and also great networking. And it's so much more. And do you see what I call it? This is the creme de la creme. Okay. It's everything you need to go from a six-figure business owner or almost there. Okay. If you're committed, you're going to get there. And if you are there or almost there, I'm going to get you to be that seven-figure CEO and industry thought leader. So you might want to snap a picture of this, because that's the link where it all begins, it begins with an application. It's simple. You fill out a simple questionnaire and you reserve time on your calendar to spend time with me. Okay. So is this really for me? I don't know. Well, let's talk about it. This is for you if you're ready to up level and step fully into your CEO role. Okay. If you're committed to going all in on your business, there is no plan B. Okay. And if you're willing to stretch yourself, and here I wanted to make sure you understand what I mean by stretch yourself. You need to, and I will always encourage you to be who you are in Christ. Like, I want you to be authentic. I'm not taking you out of who you are, but let's be real, ladies, as we grow to the next level, we've got to stretch, because we have to learn new skills. We have to learn what we don't know now. We don't even know what we don't know at this point. So we have to be willing to stretch and do things that may feel uncomfortable and that will scare us. But if that's what you're committed to, this is for you. If you're excited to learn how to think and strategize like an Inc. 500 CEO, my brain works in a very special way. And it's because of 3 years of training in law school and then all those years as a trial attorney. I want to impart that to you. You can learn it if you want to. Okay. If you want to leverage your time by incorporating systems and processes and automation and build your dream team, it's possible. And this is for you. If you want to seek to fully live out your faith and prioritize God above everything else and trusting Him in His promises and really step into that beautiful, extraordinary, strong, decisive, powerful woman that God made you to be, that Proverbs 31 woman, that is you. And if you believe that I have the experience and the dedication that's going to take to guide you with excellence as you pursue your impossible, I'll tell you, there's never been a better time. Never. Why, Jude? Tell me. Well, we're getting ready for our founders round. We begin next month. Okay. And again, I'm limiting this to no more than 12 ladies. If we have 5 ladies, okay, I'm going to be selective because I only want to work with those that say yes to every single one of these. Okay. There's special founders pricing. You're going to be saving up to $5,000. And there's founders only bonuses valued, I think, probably closer to $5,000 or $6,000. And I'll tell you all about those specifics on our strategy session. So again, it's bit.ly/joyful scaling consult. I want to take you through some of my other client success stories. We saw Lori earlier. Here's exactly what she said. Working with Judy literally changed my life. I'm a different person. And then again, talks about how she 2.5x'd. Fontanise, thanks to all I learned from Judy, I was able to 6x my business. She was about ready to quit. And now she's more excited than ever about her business. Jackie said, Judy's got the know-how and resources to make my vision a reality. And more importantly, she's personally invested in her clients' success. Catherine says, Judy's dedication to her clients is unmatched. I'm eternally grateful to have found her. So to learn more, the first step is to apply for a scaling strategy call with me. And as I mentioned, I don't accept everybody because our goal is to create incredible success stories and case studies, but I would love for you to be my next one. So here's a bonus, okay? Because you're watching this now, if you apply, we get on the phone and you're in the Joyful Scaling experience. I'm going to gift you with a free ticket to something I have coming up. I haven't picked a date. I want to say late January, early February. And this is going to be a very special event. I'm calling it Team Building, Leadership, and management mastery for female CEOs. It's a 2-day live intensive event. And it's all about building your dream team so that it drives the revenue and it performs with excellence so that you have the time freedom that real CEOs have. And it's worth $2,000. Now, I want to say, if you're like, well, Judy, I don't really see myself getting a team in 2022, no worries. Because here's the deal. To get the dream team in place requires leadership and management skills. And no matter if you have a team or not, those are pivotal as a CEO. So whether you use it in 2022 or at some point beyond, this is going to be a fabulous live event. So I would love to strategize with you. So if this resonated with you and if you are excited to pursue the impossible with me, I'd want you to apply bit.ly/joyful scaling consult. And now it's time for a Q&A. But before that, I want to make sure I promised that you would have access to my ultimate scaling guide. If you go to judyweber.co, you will see it there and you could download that absolutely for free. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. So I have about 5 minutes. So who has a question or even a business issue? Because I would love to do some hot seat live training with anybody, live coaching. If anybody has an issue you'd love me to help tackle with you. So if that's you, feel free to pop off your mute and ask away. Looks like Katie has a question.
I always have a question. You know that.
Hi, Katie. I'm
Hi,
not
Judy.
seeing
How are
you.
you?
I think I see.
I think I took you off video because I don't have any
Okay.
makeup on.
Oh, okay.
And my hair is a mess. But
All
otherwise
right.
I'm fine.
Well,
Now,
how can
going
I
back
help
to
you,
the
hon? That's great.
sales strategy, I'm working on building, as you know, the framework for a lean and mean team. Okay, which means initial hire, subsequent hire, and then a third hire for the total of 4 of us, me as the CEO, over a period of a year. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm working on my brand and what's that is about to me. And what I'm struggling with is actually how to communicate that the sort of the coalescence of the brand to and integrate it into formulating job descriptions for these various people.
I love this question. That raises something else. Inside my Joyful Scaling, you have access to job description templates and a plethora of other templates and swipe files, email sequences, everything you need, all those basics. I will say this. It is really important when you're doing a job description to be specific and picky and really put out there what you want. Wow, there seems to be a theme, right? What is, for example, what are the core values of your business? You need to make sure that's out there. So like for me, I only work with Christian women. I love all women. I want to always advocate for women, but I've decided unapologetically that I work with Christian women. So, and I stand on that. So when I put that in my job description, those that aren't Christian will turn away. And that's good because I want them to self-select and say yes or no. So that's the first thing I want you to think about in the way of your brand. What are your core values? And they don't have to be many, but just think about like 3 to 5 or so core things that you stand for. And also, what are the qualifications of the people that you want? Think about the people that you've worked with in the past, whether you as a manager or just colleagues, wherever that happened to be. What do you love about people? What makes working with them fun? If it's someone under me, I want to make sure that they are respectful, that they're self-motivated, that they are a person of integrity, that they are, they're self-thinkers, like they're self-motivated. Did I already say that? So that's where it begins. Now, in the way of brand, there's only so much I can say here, but what makes a really powerful brand is more than the cute logo or the right colors. Okay. That's really not that important at the end of the day. It is about what does the brand stand for? And besides those core values, things like what is this brand's perspective on the industry? I love to disrupt myths, and I've done that a couple of ways inside this masterclass, right? I turn some of the conventional wisdom, quote unquote, out there on its head. And that becomes a part of my brand. Oh, I know if I work with Judy, she's not going to be telling me I need to go everywhere. We're going to be focused. Okay. And that's so different than other things. So think about your brand and what you want to stand for in the community. I know you're a real estate agent and your broker. So you want to stand for something unique in the marketplace. Think that through and get it down on paper. And then that's where we would begin, because those two things are critical.
Thanks,
That's
Judy.
a really great question. You're so welcome. Serena, do you have a question?
Judy. Yeah, I do. So I'm just listening to your masterclass the first time. Super appreciate you for all the information. I am new in the business. Not quite new. Like I opened my agency last year, but I just finally go full time now.
Congrats.
And thank you. So I'm looking at your 7-figure, business model. So as of right now, I am servicing like low ticket, like $600, and I only have 2 clients right now. But of course, when I'm looking at this, the 10,000 service would make more sense, for me. But as of right now, my skill set is not there yet. I help with social media marketing and also do Facebook ads. And right now I help beauty industry and even getting, a nail salon, full service salon, for them to pay me $600. It seems like a stretch. Do you feel like I should change my niche or?
I love this question.
Yeah.
I could talk about this for 2 hours. Okay. This is great, Serena. First of all, again, congrats for going full time and going all in. Obviously you are really committed. That's why you're here. And so I applaud you for that. Darn it. People calling me. Let me just get out of the share. We don't need that there anymore. Okay. I love that you're niched down to beauty, because when you become the go-to social media, Facebook ads person known in the niche, that's amazing. I mean, I could think of several beauty influencers, and I'm sure you can find them on Instagram. And then you can begin to plug into them, reach out to them without fear, without concern, and you introduce yourself. Okay. And again, the niching is very, very good. We don't want to be generalists. So one thing you said is, right now I have a $600 package. And you also said, I don't know, my skill set's not there. One of the first things that we would do together is I would say, tell me about that. What is your skill set? Because I don't like those words coming out of your mouth, because I suspect.
Well, for Facebook ads is what I am more into,
Okay.
Specializing in. But at the same time, when I'm working with all the salon, they do not have the budget for me to kind of go fully what I'm skilled in, building the funnels and adding all that. I would help them for a little bit, and they don't see the result, and they're like, that's a lot of money on top of they paying for me. So I understand. So I would just say that my knowledge might be there, but I just haven't have a client that give me the full, blown of giving me the money for me to go through all of my, I have gone through so many Facebook trainings, and I know that my knowledge is there. I also attended a Facebook headquarter in Menlo Park, the full day training from Facebook itself. So I know that it's there, but it's just, I just never get to create a result just because.
Gotcha.
My
Okay.
time, yeah.
Okay. And I'm only cutting you off a little bit because I have some great info that I want to share with you. Okay. So getting results is important, right? Because if you don't get results, then you're going to develop a reputation of, she talks a good game, but she doesn't get me anything. But part of that is having the right client, and also the reality of your work. I know firsthand that Facebook ads, it takes time to develop the data, and you know this, so I'm just telling everybody else, it takes time to develop the data to know where to tweak, how to improve, blah, blah, blah. So that if someone's saying, well, I only have X amount of dollars and I'm only investing this much, and by the way, prove yourself in a month, well, that's almost like setting yourself up for failure. And so, I see that you would position yourself as as an expert that deals with not startup, type beauty businesses, hairstylists, salons, whatever, that you work with established businesses who want to take their business to the next level. And so they would have $2,000 or $3,000 a month to invest in you. And they wouldn't say that's too much. See, and so, but to get there, you need to really inject yourself into being visible and establish yourself as an authority, whether that's Instagram. And I think that would be a great place for you, from what I understand, among perhaps over on LinkedIn, maybe, depending on the level of the brand that you're working with. So really it's mindset. It's thinking about your packages, how you're going to put it together. I wouldn't want you to do it month to month. I would want you to say, I start with a 3-month package. It's X on a pay in full, or it's Y if you pay by the month, that kind of thing. So that's about all I can say right now.
Great, yeah. That's a lot of great information. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. And I see so much potential in you, and so much fervor and excitement about, and passion about what you're doing. So that's like a huge portion of it. So
thank you. Yeah.
Well,
thank you, Katie.
Absolutely, Serena. Who else? Sylvia or Angela or Rebecca, may I help you before we end for today? All right. While you're thinking about that, let me go to my chat and see if, oh, Caroline, you're so welcome. Lorraine, thank you. Oh, and Serena, that's good. I see that now. Okay. All right. All right, ladies, I think I better head out. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be sending out the replay for this one. So if you want to watch again and take further notes, because now you know kind of what it's all about. Listen, if we're not connected anywhere, wherever, I am everywhere at Judy Weber Co. At Judy Weber Co., whether it's Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Pinterest or wherever the heck else there is, Clubhouse. I'm at Judy Weber Co., and I really want to get to know you. And if you meet those requirements, like if you're ready for more, I would love you to schedule that consultation so we can chat. All right. Thanks again for joining me. God bless. Have a great rest of your day.